Hello again, and welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Schrimpf with Sfiligoj, temporarily. I'm about to send you off into a plane. Actually, I've already sent you off into a plane.
I was going to say, by the time the video airs, I will be coming back on the plane with fingers crossed from the Commodity Classic in San Antonio. So tune in next week for the wrap-up of what happened at that event.
But right now, as people are eating their cornflakes, you are winging your way back from San Antonio. I'm sure with bags full of interesting stories, right?
Okay, that's an interesting image, Paul. Thank
Bushel
you for
baskets of stories.
Okay.
Has there been much? I mean, there've been some tidbits, a few new products here and there.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have set up meetings, and I'll be finding out about based on some press briefings that a lot of the crop protection folks and technology folks have new offerings coming out. So look for more information on that in print and here in video in another week.
Yeah, and we'll get hopefully a read on the grower mood from this conference, which very grower heavy, but a higher level of, I think, in general, of farmers in terms of involvement in industry, involvement in association,
right,
and technology use and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see. So what else do we have this week?
Well, speaking of growers, Paul, this isn't the official USDA projections for acreage. However, there are some hints of what the report that'll be out here in a couple of weeks actually might say. And it looks like, Paul, that growers in 2020 are planning to plant 94 million acres of corn, which will be the highest acreage total for corn since 2013. And it looks like soybean will be about 85 million acres, also an increase from last year. Folks are saying, based on the early indications, that if weather and trade cooperate, that these numbers should be good for the growers in the country.
Yeah, well, China's just an enormous wild card anymore. I mean, we're just worried about the pigs now. It's people with everything that's going on with coronavirus. But
true, although the projection that I read said that when it comes to, particularly with soybean in China, that the forecast for exports was 225 million in the current year, and they're projecting that if things go well, it could be over 2 billion bushels will be shipped over to, 2 billion bushels will be shipped over to China come 2021.
Good deal. Let's hope for the best. And I know the soils are pretty saturated out there right now. We're hoping that things even out a little bit so we can get the planting underway. But I know it's a little mucky right now. At least that's what we're hearing.
Yes, a little bit. And the other thing to share, of course, Paul, we've been following glyphosate and all the legal ramblings regarding that, which now basically kind of on hold, Paul, as folks negotiate behind the scenes and maybe try to work out some type of settlement agreement possibly. But it looks like the legal folks in the world have now found their new, I guess you'd call it whipping boy in crop protection, and it looks like that's going to be Dicamba. We found out this week that there was a jury verdict recently, make sure I get this right, in Missouri. $265 million verdict against BASF and Monsanto Bayer for Batter Farms in Missouri. So with that, we're going to start. I know the law firm that represented that farm is now having a press briefing, where they're going to talk about future lawsuits and what's coming down the line. So looks like that Dicamba is going to be in the crosshairs now for the legal team out there.
Yeah, as we're finding out, some of our Dicamba updates that we have Jackie Pucci, our editor, working on, the feeling is not real warm and fuzzy right now.
No.
I think from extension, from retailers and trying desperately to figure out ways to use this stuff, but just having a lot of struggles.
Yeah, and one other thing to share, I know that someone online had posted an item regarding USDA Advisory Council and their recommendations for Dicamba, and what they're basically saying is, due to overwhelming reports of Dicamba volatilization, their recommendation is the registrations for Dicamba herbicides not be renewed at the end of 2020. And one other thing to note, the Fruit and Vegetable Industry Advisory Committee has called on USDA to work with EPA, to come up with a new generation of quote-unquote safer dicamba products. And that group also is recommending that the buffer zone for application be extended from 110 feet to more than a mile.
Alrighty then.
Again,
I
to
think
the extreme, I guess.
I think the next generation dicamba is not dicamba, right?
I don't even know how you'd apply it with a mile buffer zone. I'm not even sure where that would work in the continental United States.
Right. Well, we'll see. Obviously, that's probably not going to go that direction. But
I would suspect
in terms
not.
of in terms of registration next year, who knows? If there's enough of an outcry and lack of understanding and frustration, who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know that that most of the states, from what I understood, between 2018 and 19, their dicamba complaints, drift complaints, went down, except in places like Illinois. Apparently, theirs was up during 19. So it'll be interesting to see as the 2020 season gets underway and gets into full gear, just how many complaints may be filed out there when it comes to dicamba applications.
Yeah, well, now that the lawyers are on high alert,
could get more attention than you would want. Yes.
With that, we'll wrap up. Look forward to seeing you again next week for another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Thanks for joining us. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comments section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.